will be enough time for your questions. First of all, please do excuse my English, which is not only not my mother tongue, but not even the first of the languages I know. Mais je comprends le français aussi, et si vous avez des questions en français, je vais essayer de vous répondre en français aussi. Now, there's a couple of warnings. The first one is that I'm not politically correct at all. And sometimes in some talks I have had problems with this. And the second one is that some of the things that we will see together today, while pretty obvious afterwards, may be considered not really legal in some copyright-obsessed countries. Now, for me, copyright means only the right to copy as much as you want. That must be clear. I don't respect patents at all. Now, my hope is to give you some cosmic searching power. You will judge by yourself at the end of this talk. My personal opinion, I've done some reverse engineering myself once upon a time. Searching is even more powerful. Now, reverse engineering is quite powerful, but knowing how to search the web nowadays will give you terrific power. You can kill people at distance. It's great. Now, we will see some examples of advanced searching techniques. We won't have the time to go inside all of them. But if you begin to learn how to search, you will be able by yourself to find them out. You won't need any teacher, no one anymore. Whatever you will be looking for, you will find. Any music, of course, any image, any film, any software, any book. And actually not only files. On the web there are solutions. Solutions to problems that you may have. You are annoyed by some planes in the night making noise? Well, have a look around. People have already fought against that somewhere. Maybe in Australia or in Europe or somewhere you will find solutions for your own problems. So you can find everything, files and solutions. Because there is a lot of knowledge in the web, which is buried underneath tons of commercial crap. So the first thing to learn is how to eliminate the crap, how to eliminate the noise, and to get striking signal. Very simple trick, just to make you a stupid, silly example. Every time you search at Google, you put after your search string, that I hope will not just be one word, that we will discuss it later, you put quote, and you put minus, quote, point, colon, unquote. And you eliminate all the conside, good riddance. They don't need that anyway. So that's just a stupid, silly example how you can reduce the noise. And there are many more, which we will see together. Now, one other thing that you will have already noticed probably is that I'm using Windows and not GNU Linux. By the way, Linux does not exist. GNU Linux is the name of it. So, and the reason is that I prefer to crack operating systems I do not have source code of. And Windows is quite good for that. Now, some of the tools that we will, I mean, this is a reverse engineering conference, so I try my best to put some reverse engineering in it. I mean, I remember that is something, so you will see it. And some of the tools that we will see how we can liberate them from open source Windows Windows related. But you will find better tools for Linux, of course. Now the point, before beginning, is that you can find everything for a simple reason. And the reason is that the web structure is made for sharing. It is not made for selling. It is not made for hoarding things. It is made for sharing. So wherever they hide things they want to sell, you can enter from behind, or from above, or from underneath, or somewhere. The structure of the web is such that if you know the protocols, you can enter everywhere. As I hope we'll see together. Just to make you an example, a very simple one. This, I hope tokens. Yeah, this is the list of the common database passwords. There are many lists like this on the web. Some of them updated, some not. And I mean, everybody here probably knows the politically correct Boland database. I mean, it's a very famous story. They were online with this imprise database, which had hard-coded passwords, politically and correct, and then you open it. And the funny thing on the web is that it is very slow. It has a very big inertia. So exploits, which are very old, and that we found 10 years ago, you can still use them sometime. And you will find many copies of Boland imprise that online database with politically correct as half of the password online, even now. Now, back to the thing. I want to show you a very, sorry about that. Yes, I don't like a PowerPoint presentation, so I actually slide them. So I do this my way. Now, this is an example of a very stupid search string. I have centered this speech, this talk on streaming, as we will see in a moment. So let's imagine that we want to find a streaming program on the web. A very stupid search would be, quote, index of, unquote, worth total recorded. This search gives you the following. This is crap. This is crap because you have got a lot of commercial sites that have spammed Google and are in the first positions. And why did they spam it? Because everybody knows that index of and worth are very common search words. So that's not the way to search for what we're looking for. If we... Yeah, sure. What? Yeah. Let's see if it works this way. Better?
Is it better in the back?
Bigger. Huge.
Good.
It's okay? Even bigger. Should buy spectacles. Okay. Anyway, this file is online, so you please just download it. You see there where. So download it and have it on your screen. That's maybe better. It's on SearchDOS Montreal _2005 HTML. Now, as I said, that's not a good string. It is a broken arrow. It is a string which has been so abused that it doesn't work anymore. The problem with search strings is that once you use them a lot, they, how do you say it in English, they become dull. They are not sharp anymore. So you have to invent new, which is easy. This is a good string. Have a look. It's very slow, internet accepts a lot. Yeah, this is much better. Now, the interesting thing with this string, as you can see here, is that actually you just need to change at the end the total recorder part with whatever else you want, and you will find your software. That's just an example of a good string. Now, I'm using Google. I'm using Google because it's fast and it's quite good, actually. But there are many main search engines, and you should, by all means, learn to use more than one of them. Google alone, and you're never done. And another problem is that all search engines together, they overlap, of course, they cover just one third, maybe slightly less than 1/2 of the web. So in order to search the rest of the web, you have to use other techniques because the search engine don't cover it. I will show you how we believe that the web looks like from a searcher point of view, which is, now it's so big that I cannot find any more. Yeah. So that's more or less what we believe it is. You have a part which is indexed in the middle of a huge bulk of sites. The index part is around 10 million sites. And then you have something like maybe 20, nobody knows, more million sites outside the limited part. Then you have the so-called hidden databases, which are databases you are supposed to pay in order to access, or you shouldn't access for some reasons, but you can. And then you have the outside linkers, which are places on the web which only point to the web, and there is no link back. And then you have the outside linkers, which are linked from the web, and they don't link back. Now, for each of these parts of the web, in order to search them, you use different techniques. The most interesting one, I will just go briefly in that because we don't have the time to see all of them, is for the outside linkers. As I said, the outside linkers, they only link to the web. So there are no link from the internet web to them. So how do you find them? Well, you use a technique which is called claiming, which basically is just reference. You prepare a very nice page, let's say about Fritz, the evil chick. And you do a good thing, a very good thing, a lot of material, interesting thing. And then you pop in some good message boards where people that know their stuff are discussing these things and say, hey, I just found a very interesting page about Fritz there. 8 out of 10 of the idiots will go there without proxy, and you will see where they come from. Where do they come from? From hidden pages that don't have any link to the web, sometimes. You have to understand why there are so many search engines. Why do search engines exist? And why there are so many, nowadays even more. Because they want to know what you're searching. So the whole point of search engines like Google is to grab all your searches and know what people are searching for, because that's power. I mean, I do it in my little on my site. My site has a very confused structure, because that way people have to use the internal search engine and to search for things they're interested in. And that way I know things that I wouldn't know otherwise. Because they suppose that something very important should be on my site, because it's site for searching, and they search for it. And in my listing, in the logins, I see what the hell is that? And that's, in a big scala, is what Yahoo, what Google does. Insider trading is nothing in comparison with that. Imagine you know, millions of people searching suddenly for some shares. Well, either they're going up or they're going down, something is happening. And you know that before. So that's the reason we have so many search engines. That's the real reason. It's not to help you. So, but, of course, our task as reversers is always to take advantage of things and to reverse them. So to use those things they give to us for other purposes, for our purposes. And that's what we're going to do now. It's a little too big for my, not very easy with this, but yeah, well, I won't discuss this with you. I mean, I suggest to use Opera as a browser because Opera is a very good browser. And the reason Opera is a very good browser is that you can at once eliminate images. That's basically the most important reason. And you can eliminate the outer mode as well. So, if you use your browser in order to search, you have no time for frills and for crap. So, away with images, away with outer mode. You just look at the data you want. And Opera allows you to do that on the fly. Of course, there are, for Firefox, some add-on you could put into in order to have Opera with Firefox. But you already have Opera, so you don't need Firefox. The fact that Opera is not free software is a pity, but it doesn't mean nothing for me. Opera is better, and I use it. And of course, I don't pay for it. Now, let's do an proxomitron. I won't go to that. Proxomitron, as you know, it's, I will show you this example. The proxomitron is useful because it acts as an interface between you and the web and allows you to rotate proxies, for instance, which is very interesting sometimes when you are cracking databases. Now, one example is here with RapidShare. I don't know if you ever used it. RapidShare is one of the many. Is my voice too strong? Because I'm impression maybe I should leave it like that. RapidShare is one of the many repositories on the web. There are many. You send it 1 giga, send me file, mega upload, file day, and many others. These are places you can put files on. Of course, a lot of these files are crap, and they are porn, film, or that kind of things. I mean, maybe not crap, anyway, there are things that you maybe not use. But there are interesting things. Have a look at this search. This search is interesting for two reasons. What's wrong? Something didn't work as I wanted. I mean, that is one of the problems I was speaking about yesterday. The moment you prepare a search, it gets screwed very quickly. So let's change it. I use the same thing, but this time, instead of Oracle, let's go to WordDrive. Let's see. Yeah, better. Now we are looking at the files which are on rapid share about WordDrive. Most of them, of course, are already books or whatever. The example I had made before coming here was for Oracle related things. And you see all these files. Well, all these files are there. Look. Here it is. Now, you are supposed to pay if you want to do it quickly. Other ways, as you can see here below, you have to wait some seconds. Of course, if you tweak your proxometer, you can bypass the time delay and also download as much as you want. So you couldn't care less about this client-related JavaScript shit. So that's another example of a commercial service, because basically they lure you with the possibility to download a file, and then they tell you, yeah, but it will be very slow, and you will have to wait 1 hour before the next one. And if you pay premium service, you know, it's like this shit golden credit cards that only idiots use. I mean, that's the same thing. You pay, and then you get something better, which doesn't make any sense. And anyway, with Proxometron, as I told you, we can bypass that. Now we are there. We have waited. Now I waited seconds, and I was very nice with them. And you can download it. This is Macro Hill, Oracle, whatever. Now, the same thing you can do. These are the Oracle-related file I found some days ago. And if you put in the same search something else instead of Oracle, then you will have it. The other interesting thing is that I didn't use Google here. I did use the new Microsoft search engine. Now, we all hate Microsoft, but at times they have very good ideas. And here is one example. The very good idea here is these 3 sliders. I will show them to you because, yeah. Now, these are incredibly intelligent, clever things. I wish Google would do that. The idiots in Microsoft, they hide them instead to be proud of them. I don't know why. Here, you can change yourself the algo of the search engine. Now, of course, you would put less popular. I couldn't care less what people in Arizona are searching for. So less popular is better. I mean, you should think about that. You can have your own algos on the fly. Now, Microsoft database is not as good as Google's, and the search engine sucks for other reasons that I won't go into now. But these 3 sliders are very, very good, and it is a very good idea, and I would love to have the 20 sliders that apparently people in Google do have and can use. And Microsoft, I've been told they also have more sliders. The fact remains that I cannot understand why they don't put them in front, you see. But you can do it yourself. You just write something like that before your search string. And you see you have matching, popularity, and freshness. By playing with all 3 of them will give you different results. And it is worth trying it out. And this is something you should try soon, because given your normally miserable attention span, if you don't do it today, you will forget it. Now, here, something that could be of interest for you. I found it just at this REcon conference. Reversing secrets of reverse engineering. That must be really a crap book. But we will see. And you can download it. Okay? Now you do it yourself. I already have it. Here, is the example of the JavaScript code that RapidShare used client-side, and you can see how easy it is to bypass it. The first possibility is this one, that you see here, but there is a very simple one, which is just to change proxy. With Proxometer, you change your proxy and you add somebody else, and that's it. So you can download something else. And then there is a third possibility, which is even simple in Windows, this run ifconfig flush release renew. That's it, and then you download something else. So I mean, if you are internet savvy, which you should be, you can bypass most of the silly protections that the commercial beasts want to impose on us. So that's it. Now let's go over to books. Now this is actually something also of interest, because there are huge databases of books going online all the time. I mean, today is the Library University of Tanzania, and tomorrow is Canberra or whatever. So more and more. And Google is indexing right now the Library of Congress. And as you know, there is, and I will show it to you right now, there is as you should know, maybe you don't know, the A9 search engine. Just to show you another engine. The A9 search engine is basically a monthly search engine. But this means now you see it is not per default, but you click on books. There are no books, right? I did make a mistake, it's probably. Yeah. As you can see, among many other results, after you have the Google-like results, images and whatever, you get books. And these are all amazing books. Now, let's imagine that you were interested in here, the big sleep. Here it is, from Amazon, presented. And there should be somewhere, if they didn't take it away yesterday, here probably. Yeah, sorry. There is some problem with I don't know why I cannot see it actually.
It's okay, bro. Yeah.
Sorry? It's Opera, yeah, maybe. Could be, but no. Yesterday it didn't work. So I think sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Go over to the other one. Yeah, okay, better with Firefox. So Firefox can be used all times. As you can see, the point here is that the complete book is online. Only it is prepared like that. Now, there is a script that we have made that works in two ways. The first one, it transforms these things into real books, so searching all the pages. And the other one, it searches one snippet of a phrase. Amazon gives you 3 lines above and 3 lines underneath. So it searches the last line underneath and gets the 3 lines above and 3 underneath, and so on and so on and so on until stop. It takes 2 seconds and you have the complete book. That's just an example of how you can have every book you want for free, which you should do by all means. I mean, why shouldn't you? Here's another example of libraries online. You know, the web is very deep. Here is about Quebec. I thought that was fitting with this thing, and a map of the British Empire and whatever. And so on. I mean, you can play with that. It's just to show you how many things are there and how deep they are actually. If you search for rhetoric, which is very interesting science actually that you should by all means sometime practice, it is very good against advertisement. You will find almost everything there is complete about rhetoric. I mean, from ancient books to whatever. This is also interesting. Now here is an example to find a book, complete book on Amazon, but let's have another example. Here I wanted to find the Starting Scarlet, and what I did use are simply two snippets, as you can see, which are related, and that gives you immediately places where you have the complete book. Of course, you can counter that Starting Scarlet is not this one. Here we make an example with the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it is. So even copyrighted books, of course, are all online. Now, some of them, as you can see, are already spammed because many people work hard in order to push sites that have nothing to do with the results high in the search engine results. But we can bypass that as well. Now, I will show you now two queries which you should try to understand. And I will leave you the task to do it because it is worth doing it. Practically, I will explain you this one. You don't want HTML, you don't want HTML, you want index of, and then you want either ebooks or book, and then you want one of these, and then you want for dummies. Actually, we don't want for dummies, we want for already. And if you do that, chances are, if these search things still available, because I have the impression somebody used them a lot. And also, I don't know why it is so slow. Let's try this one. Why do we have such a slow internet connection? I don't know what's wrong here. There is no internet connection, or what? Are you playing with my... Well, you have it in front of you and it will work when you try it with a good internet connection. Okay. So this is, anyway, a way to find places where you have a lot of already books. But it is so easy to find books, if the internet works, that, yeah, I did it with stupid this time. Yeah. As you can see, it is, you can see from the dimension which one has words are more words, which one is. Of course, as you know, the bigger book, the better. Now, there are many things that would be worth delving into, but we won't have the time to do everything like that. But for instance, it is very interesting to use Usenet in order to search. Basically, you do not search yourself. You search for people that have already searched. That is called combing, and that allows you to bypass years of search. If you're interested in war driving tools, well, you find a guy that has listed 2 years long all possible war driving tools for Linux or Windows or whatever. He worked like hell, and he has a beautiful site somewhere. You find him, and you have the war driving tools, better than if you search them yourself. That's the way to do it. Actually, there is a super comment which is searching for people that have searched people that have searched. And that's also good. Then there are other things that you may be interested in, because different targets, like files, symbols, images, music, fonts, books, journals, scholar journals, laws, classified text, citation, passwords, streams, blogs, barcodes, news, require different search techniques, for instance, blogs. I mean, I would search blogs personally, but if you are interested in that, you can do it. And searching for blogs You have blog search engines, specific, a lot of them, by the way, as you can see here. And if you play with that, you can search blogs about reverse engineering. It's a mystery to me why it doesn't work. It does, but there is no. So you see, found 138 different 53, so it's very slow. So in these cases, again, it is a good idea to eliminate all the cards. So that's just another example. So you can by yourself. One thing that I wanted to discuss with you here is this, which I find it very, very, very queer, very strange. It is the contradiction between Big Brother and complete or almost complete anonymity. On one side, everything you do is logged. So you have, for instance, all your emails, your internet provider, he burns them on DVD every month. I mean, you know that. So everything you wrote from 95 to now is somewhere stored. On the other side, you walk 10 meters and you connect with the wireless connection of somebody else. So actually, it is very strange if you think about that. You can be almost anonymous on one side and you are hyper controlled on the other side. I find this very, very fun, very interesting. So I devised these rules, which maybe experts among you will criticize, but I think they work. So basically, you can download the hell out of it, and you must be a little careful when you upload, but you can do something about that as well. So that's relative anonymity for that. But now another interesting thing is that sometimes you need quick anonymity on the web because you don't want to leave your data. So a very simple and very nice thing is this one that you probably know already. It's called Mailinator. The moment you are there, you already have an email. Here it is. Now I am mailinator.com. So you use this one, and you can check it 2 days long, or whatever. So it works for all kind of journal accessing, or whatever it is. You don't give your real, of course you never give your real data anyway. But in this case, it is perfect. Because you have an on-the-fly email, if you do it yourself, you will have a different one. Okay, and then it works for you. Should I switch?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go on. Maybe I should just simply, another nice thing in Opera, as you can see, is I kill him now. I kill everything at once. I restart it. So it is too small now for you, so I will once again put it bigger. So another interesting thing is this on automatical movies, which is sometimes useful, but I don't know if it is. Now I'm looking at REcon, but of course you can put here whatever you want. Source with description and you see here organization, all the usual stuff, but it is online. You can do it even on a web cafe. It's quite useful actually to find okay. Now I will show you some interesting bookmarklets which sometimes are quite nice. This one, for instance, it is a killing bookmarklet. You can see it now, it's JavaScript. You just put it in your bookmarks, and then when you are on a site like this one, with a lot of crap, you use it. You see what happens. You can kill selectively. You can go, of course, but you can also, yeah, you can selectively kill anything. This is quite interesting on some sites which play tricks with it, because you can eliminate parts of them and see how the rest reacts, and you can find even switches that way, which may be of interest. There are many. Here is an interesting Google trick, which doesn't work very well anymore, but still work enough to be worth having a look. Basically, doing this, I get in bold a small part after what I'm searching, which means that in many cases I can see how big it is, or it doesn't work very well anymore, but or the date or whatever. And normally you should be able to prolong it, but they changed the asterisk in Google now, and maybe it doesn't work anymore. Which only one. Let's see what happens. No, it doesn't work. That is just the idea was just to show you that there are some operators in Google. This is another one. If I put potato instead of fravia, you can see what Google thinks about potatoes, which is sometimes also interesting in order to refine the searches. And more. There are many things on the web that may be of interest. This is a very fun example. This is a special search engine for Greek pig. Now, if I want to know where this sequence is, well, it is here. I mean, I don't know who can use that, but it is. Now, I don't know if this is a mature audience, but this is another example of interesting search. Here you can find primates. I mean, for instance, let's see this one. Yeah, which here are the best one. Around 70 is quite sexy. I don't know, I will, okay. And of course there are more vulgar things, but this example is interesting because of the way it works. We won't go into, these are also porn images. We don't need to look at them. You can. But, as you can see, there are hundreds of them. All of them are about blonde women. And the fact that there is a blonde tree will mean that you probably, so 32 probably not, I made a mistake, but blonde 2, I suppose it will work. Yeah, so you have also blonde 2. So you have 100,000 of them. And I use blonde, but I mean, your fantasy and your creativity can prove. Now, of course, I have an example to demonstrate that porn is not always porn. This is Corbett, not anything. And let's go over to image searching. Now we will search for a Caravaggio image, which is, this is the simple way to search for it. But if I search for Caravaggio 33 JPG, what do I find? I find places where we have at least 33 images of Caravaggio, which means that these places have a lot of images of Caravaggio. So at once, I bypass all the sites I want to sell me things that they don't have. And I go somewhere where even if they want to sell them, they have images. And in fact, here, we can have a look. It is quite a good resolution, a big one. And it is not, as far as I know, indexed on main search engine, because some sites, as you know, block the depth Google and the other search engines can go inside. But nevertheless, you can find them in this way because they did index the name of the image, even if they didn't index the context of it. Now, here it is an example with an image search engine, which will give us, we have many images, sorry. The example is this one, but this one. If I'm looking for this image, I can use a special engine to have many examples of this specific image, and I can see how big they are and whatever. This is also a very good way to bypass some kind of altering that some galleries or museums use. You will find the same image somewhere else where it is not protected or it is not prohibited to use it. And if you have to write a book, you will sooner or later have the problem with the images in your book. As you know, theoretically, you should write to the copyright holder, in quotes, of the image and ask permission to use it in your book. Well, there is a simple method. You upload your self-image on a GeoCity site made by somebody else, and then you write on this GeoCity site made by somebody else, please use this image, it's mine, and I give it free for a GPL, whatever, and then you put it on a book. So, I mean, it's not you, it's here. Because it's really annoying, this whole asking permission. So another way to search for images is this one, which is very interesting. You don't search for the image itself, you search for its dimensions. And of course, you find an image you want. Voila. This is just an example of the way you can search for another side of things. Now the problem with images you find on the web is that they are not always true. What's wrong? They are not always true. I will show you the one that I prefer. So, this is of course Photoshopped image, but it is very good made and it is not easy for people that don't evaluate quickly to find out. That's just an example of the problem that people may have when they search stuff. Okay, now let's go to a very interesting thing, which is how to eliminate this idiotical end-user agreement license. I don't like it. So the way to do it, in my opinion, is very simple. Let's imagine that we want to install this irradia thing, which is a very interesting anti-streaming tool because it allows you to register on the fly MP3, broadcasted MP3 music. Now, irradio was originally called radiogram, and you can see it because if you have a look at this code, you will find inside irradio this kind of crap. So they used LCH IP protection to protect it. And now, if I open it, what happens is this. Now, it doesn't make any sense for me because I actually want to the software, but I do not accept the agreement. So, what I do? Now, let's imagine for a moment that this agreement means something. It doesn't mean nothing at all, of course. But let's see what we can do. We can do these. Okay, now, interesting thing. Either the end-user agreement is legally binding, which I don't believe, but if it is, well, it is. If it is not, it is not. They may choose. I couldn't care less. That's the way to do it. It's completely legal, actually, if they think that this thing is correct. And then you can install it and can crack it in whatever. I already did it, so I don't need to do this. This is a very nice little program. It's called Customizer. It is not a demonstration, actually, notwithstanding the fact that it is written demonstration there. It is a very good program because it allows you, for instance, to bypass all these gray button problems. There's some demo software with gray buttons, but the code is inside. So you just ungray the button and it works. And I mean, I know many crackers here will laugh now, but I will show you how our protections nowadays still. I'm going to show you, there is some music before, but you can go back to that later. This little program here, EPTicker, is a very interesting small program which allows you to see all the connections of your connection. Now, here is the code of it. It is amazing. I mean, I have seen these things in 92. I mean, you have this code which does incredibly complex calculation on the registration key, and then you have test EX, and results. It's tested. Is it 0? Well, no. Then, good guy. Yes, unregistered version. That's really that. These are the real 4 lines of code. So as you can see, you change the 75 to 74. And this is a program that is, I mean, Stream Down, another interesting program, which is also an anti-streaming tool, has similar completely useless protection that you can have a look at it if you want. I prepared it for you. Now, streaming software is, is such an interesting thing because if you put a cable going out from your headphones and back into the microphone, I mean, you have your streaming thing back, and you can do it with software as well. I mean, you output to the software, then input again, and then you have it. So it is very easy to bypass. But so I don't understand really the reason they go to such lengths to avoid people having the music they are hearing, because that there is no way they can really avoid it. But it is always good to have some good anti-streaming software to do it automatically. Now, music is very easy to find on the web. Now, let's have a look at an example. This example, as you can see, I'm not looking for MP3 because the search engine, they do censor MP3 searches. So I'm looking for M4A, which is not yet censored. And if you look for M4A, chances are that you find places like this one, that I hope will not break my browser because it's a huge place, where there are 100,000 of what is this? Let's go. This is one of the problems. It's too big, this place. I will start again. It is a huge repository of music where you have almost everything, as I will show you. And it is the first in the M4A results for Google because it has so many M4A. Now, and so many MP3s as well. Back and forward. Doing it some time. Another interesting show it to you again. I try again once more. Yeah, now it works. You see, there are many of. It happens that you see here there is one and here another one. There are some M4A in between the MP3, so you can find the MP3 looking for the M4A. That's the point of the thing. Let's go forward. Now, I did show here how to crack the code, but there is no reason to crack it actually because you can find it at once.
Can you put it larger?
Sorry?
Can you put it larger?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
You can find it at once, of course, and there is even a very nice crack search engine without porn. Because the problem with crack search engines, most of them have annoying porn images. This one is very clean, very neat, and I like it a lot. I mean, if you have to do it for cracks, you don't, because it is actually always better to crack your own software yourself. There's no point in using somebody else. Now, one of the things I was thinking about, and I think we should all think about, is what will happen in 10 years' time. Chances are that we will have really various terabytes of stuff inside our pockets. So apparently the whole web archive is all inside 1 petabyte. And let's imagine that in 10 years' time you have a petabyte in your pocket. The problem will be how you search things inside, how you find them. You have everything, all the way here. Now, all the crap as well. So how do you find important things? That's the reason searching should be actually a priority for all of us, and knowing how to find things quickly. We say that if you don't find your target in a quarter of an hour, it means that your search strategy is wrong, and you have to change it. Maximum is a quarter of an hour. This is not strictly true, because there are long-term search strategy and short-term search strategies. If you do a long-term search strategy, it can take months, and you hear the signal stronger and stronger and stronger, and you know you are on the correct path, and then you find what you were looking for. But if it is a very complicated target, it can take even months. But normally, most of the searches are short-term, and you shouldn't waste more than 10 minutes on them. If you notice that you don't find what you're looking for in 10 minutes, whatever it is, whatever music, whatever book, think again what you're doing. You have to think before searching. Just to make an example, you have to find the people that know the answers and where they are. For instance, for protocols, you know who is very good in internet protocols? The people that play games online. You know why? Because they want a strong sword. They want more likes. So they know how to hack the servers very well. And they have message boards where they discuss this crap. So how do I get the magic wand? Whatever. But they also discuss how to get into the server and do that. That kind of people know that. And if you have anonymity problems, the people that know the answers are the experts living in Saudi Arabia. They discuss these things very thoroughly. They know that because they need to. So you have to think where you will be looking when you begin your search, and then you will find things quickly. The case of reverse engineering and assembly, people that know assembly code are virus writer and antivirus writers, are the same people normally, and also, of course, crackers. And so you will learn a lot about reverse engineering in these places. And that's it. That I think, I hope you had a taste of it. The problem is that there are many other techniques. I have here down some interesting things, how you can find sites that are no more there. Many people know that already, of course, but if you don't. If you do these, you will see that it's slow and you can change the. Let's do it from the proper entrance. Okay. Now, the interesting thing about the archive, the web archive, is that you can see also the development of the design of a site over the years, if it works. And for instance, for Yahoo, you have something like 100 different snapshots of how Yahoo did look like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. So you can see the development of the site as well. Now, somehow, everything seems stuck, but yeah, it is. You see, all these are copies of Yahoo. If I look here, I see how Yahoo looked like in 97. Little different from today, eh? That's an interesting thing because you can really learn a lot of things. You can reverse a lot of trends looking just at that. And you can find interesting, but there's some copyright issue as well here because, I mean, if you pull something from the web, you don't want it anymore, but it is still there. And that's another problem because, another solution. You can find things that are no more there. So that's where for today. Do you have any questions? Yeah?
You have tweaks.
Sorry?
You have tweaks about your own search engine on the website. Because it's very long, quite
you go to, okay, well, let's say there is a page on my side which has some useful tricks and you can access immediately, which is this one. And I mean, most of them work. So if you want quick tricks, here they are. If you want more complicated tricks, then I'm afraid you will have to visit message boards where we discuss them, because they land here after a while. The problem, as I told you before, with search strings is that if you use them, they won't work anymore. So even the ones that I will use today won't work in a short while. So you have to continuously invent new one. But since you all have fantasy, it won't be very difficult to do that. The problem is not the search string itself, it's what's behind it that you should learn. And then you should apply it for your own purposes. Any other question? Well, if not, I'm finished.